Hey, it's Mike Brennan. We're doing another segment of MITech TV, and some of you may know, one of my other businesses is we cover the business of cannabis, which includes hemp. Hemp is the non-psychoactive part of cannabis that's good for like 20,000 products, like cannabis, like a canvas, rope, all sorts of things. And we have with us the president of the Industrial Hemp Association of Michigan, iHemp for short, Blain Becktold. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks for that nice introduction. Matt, good to
Yeah.
see you again.
Yeah, you too.
So anyway, well, one of the things coming up now, I guess you're running for re-election, and the elections are what, about a week or so out?
A little farther than that, they're February the 19th. They'll be done on a Zoom, and people can go to the website, iHempMichigan.com, and they can click on that if they want. So we've got pretty much the returning board is coming back, and then we've got some other people, other members that have interest in this year. So it's going to be a good board members, a lot of great ideas and thoughts there. So we're looking forward to those elections in February the 19th.
Okay.
All right. So tell us a little bit about the state of the industrial hemp industry in Michigan. I don't think a lot of people realize just how big it is. And also the fact that it is, while the product is not psychoactive like recreational marijuana is, it's pretty closely regulated.
So, yeah, Matt, a great question with that. Let's do it real quick. There's three different kinds of industrial hemp. There's the kind that they do for CBD, which looks like a marijuana plant. They extract that oil out. There's the kind that we go for grain, which is for feed and oil. And the other kind is for the fiber. So those are the three kinds we have. Certainly, we've dropped off a lot from when we first started. And we're looking forward to a good year coming up this year. One of the things that the state is doing is they're going to transfer the program back to USDA. We only had about 35 growers last year, and that encompassed all the CBD, the fiber, and the grain that we're growing, which is down quite a bit from what we had, obviously, before. But that cost is really prohibitive for everybody. It's $1,350 to get that. And a little while ago, they took the industrial hemp program and they divided it into two segments. The growing segment, which they left with MDART, Michigan Department of Agriculture, and then the processing side, they moved over to CRA, the Cannabis Regulatory Agency, because the USDA program and the approval was really just for the growing part, and they left the production part up to the states, or manufacturing part up to the states to regulate.
Speaking of regulation, you guys are now under the USDA, right? So you're back to federal, right?
Well, we're hoping. What happened is last year they introduced a bill called 5799, 5977. Representative McKinney introduced that. And that was basically to shut down the mechanism for the Michigan to take the funds, the fees in. Well, politics are politics. It did not get brought up for a vote, and so it's coming back out again here very shortly. Matter of fact, it's already been introduced. It just doesn't have a bill number yet. And so our hope is, and MDART wants to do this too, they want to give the program back to USDA. What does that mean for the growers? Oh, it's a great thing. We don't have the $1,350 fee. The permit is good for 3 years instead of a yearly, what they have right now. You still have to do the background checks and some of that kind of stuff, but just takes that huge fee off of there. Still got to pass the test right now as far as having it tested for total THC, and it's got to be 0.3% or less. But that's some good points for us. Yep.
So talk about some of the fastest growing products that industrial hemp is used for, if you could.
One more time.
Talk about the fastest growing products that industrial hemp is used for, if you could.
All right. So for the industrial hemp side, the fiber side is really starting to take off quite a bit. There's hemp, a lot of hemp building products that are made with that. There's hemp insulation, there's hemp blocks, there's hemp wood, and there's also the hemp fiber, the concrete that we make for our walls, internal walls and things. Currently, the fiber can be used, the herd can be used to make the hempcrete, and that's been approved in the building codes for non-structural walls at this point. Last year, it also got certified for a burn test, so it just won't burn. Yeah, it gets a little dark when they have the blowtorch on it for an hour, but it just never caught on fire. So certainly, with the recent situation in California, is one thing to look at. But so it's going to be a great building product as the more research gets done, as more certifications happen. That's one of the biggest sides. What also happened last year, which is really large, is that the organization that approves the use for meal or feed or feed ingredients for livestock approved the use of the meal for hemp for laying hens, only for laying hens, not for broilers, not for turkeys, anything else, just for laying hens. So now, up to a 20% mix of the hemp meal can be put into the food for the laying hens feed. It has to meet some other criteria as far as THC content and CBD content, but that's not a factor. The seed doesn't have any of that in it. So, you know,
And speaking of feed, that's one of your new ventures, right?
it is. Thanks for asking about that, Mike. So, under the Hemperor brand is what we call it. I have that feed available. The grain was grown here in Michigan and processed. I have a press to make the hemp seed oil, which is just like olive oil, only better for you. So the
Hmm.
same thing you can use olive oil for, you can use the hemp seed oil. And then now we're able to make this meal for the laying hens. So the elevator speech is the birds do better, the eggs are better, and so we're better.
All right. So tell me where I can buy hemp seed oil. I'm interested.
Well, the hemp seed oil, if you want to get it from right from the processor, if you go to Downonthefarm.biz, I have it listed on there. But you can also get the hemp seed oil at other places too. But if you want it right from the manufacturer, that's where you get it from.
Hmm.
All right, no middleman, go right direct.
That's
Uh,
right.
the other thing I wanted to talk about is there's a lot of movement around the country and around the world for that matter to ban Delta 8, Delta 9, Delta 10, which are the chemically produced psychoactive drugs that do come from hemp. Talk about that.
Yeah. So, Congress never thought about it, and probably not, a lot of people didn't when they first approved the use of the hemp going into the psychoactive thing. So they're taking some of the molecules and changing it, and it does have an intoxicating effect, or so I'm told. Um, so, what's happened in other states is they've been outright banning this product. And Michigan's taken a much better approach, and there will be some legislation that will be introduced, and we'll be talking about that. And we are talking with both CRA about that as well, because our organization, our members, same thing. We don't want those intoxicating products to be able to get into the hands of kids, minors, things like that. And so the state has taken a very good approach at this point, and we haven't got all the details yet, so we'll see. But right now, they're not banning it. They're going to move the intoxicating part of that into the marijuana side. So now, for people that want that product or like that product, and it does stuff for them, and certainly it has an effect, there's no question, they'll be able to still get that product. So we're not going to be closing down the markets here, but they'll just have to get it probably from the dispensaries on the intoxicating side.
Yeah, because in some cases they sell it from gas stations and
Yep.
health food stores. And that's not really what it is. But
No,
like you say, there's that loophole. And speaking of the farm bill, it hasn't been passed yet, has it?
it has not. And with everything else going on right now, um, it has not been talked about as far as even passing in the near future. They said this spring, but right now they're all pretty busy with a lot of other things going on there. And I like to refer to it as Disneyland East, is what I refer to it as. So,
Yeah, we were just talking about that in the other segment, all the distractions that are going on right now.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's a
One of the things
crazy.
that's happened that may affect a lot of people, and it did affect us a little bit, but a lot of the projects that are going to be done this next year using industrial hemp for building homes for affordable housing and also safe housing, um, are done through grants and things like that. Well, when that got shut down, almost shut down the other day, that changed a lot of eyes there. So, but there are a lot of building projects that are going on, grant or no grant, this year in Michigan using the industrial hemp material.
So where could I find out more about all of these wonderful products?
So products you can find out going to iHemp or iHempMichigan.com. We'll have all our events going on. We'll have 4 quarterly meetings throughout the year. Well, I'm sure we'll be having some stuff on the hemp building material as well. So they can go to iHempMichigan.com for that. And then if you have other questions, there's an info button. You can ask a lot of questions there. Our meetings are once a month that we have. There's Zoom meetings, so everybody's welcome to join those. And if you want some more information on the products, you can go to Downonthefarm.biz.